I just made the choice to allow myself to just be in that and just get up and do the things that I do every day. And then this morning I woke up in a great mood.
Absolutely.
So
Well, that's good. And I mean, what would you say is also the importance of having the right support group or network, within you? Because that can also weigh some people down, isn't it? If you are in an environment which is toxic and the people around you, they don't understand your vision and your thinking, that can also have an impact. Is that?
Yeah, a tremendous impact. I think community is one of the most important things that we can create for ourselves. And I am very conscious of the people I allow into my life and the people I spend time with. I think that we need each other. Like, there's no way you're going to get through life without the support of someone else. And I would never be where I am today in life if it weren't for my family and my friends and my mentors and my coaches. And if you're suffering alone in life or business or wealth creation, go get a friend. I have a nonprofit called the Global Healing Collective, globalhealingcollective.org. And it's a free community where people who want to make positive impact, people who are leaders, people who have a purpose in life, come and be supported. And it's worldwide. And we created this nonprofit because we know that we are more powerful together. And even as, leaders and change makers and just people we're all just a squirrel trying to get a nut, we're all in the same game together. And it's so much easier when we come together in community. And there's just no reason to try to go this road alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Your network, they say sometimes your network is your net worth, isn't it? So surround yourself with the right people. You sort of aspire to be like them and push yourself to achieve what they are achieving. So if you surround yourself with millionaires, people who are successful and all of that, you tend to shift yourself towards that and their mindset and the things that they do. So looking back at your journey so far, what would you say has been the best advice you've received so far from family or your mentors or anyone?
The best advice I've received is be careful who you take advice from.
That's great. Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's a good one, because that's interesting. I remember in the same context of because I had one of the top guys and mentors who had been on the podcast, and he talked about this something about money being the root of all evil, and he was saying, how can people who have actually never made money, they don't know what it can do, actually give you advice about money? Yeah, so that was an interesting sort of light bulb moment, isn't it? Because a lot of people who haven't made it or they haven't lived their life in abundance, they will have either through some sort of emotions reflective of themselves, will give advice about, you can't do that or this and that, and just bring in that negative energy. So I thought that was quite links up very well with what you're saying. Be careful who you take your advice from, because if people haven't lived or the talk, they can't actually give you the advice that is right because they haven't experienced it. So that's a great one to take on board. And then what would you say has been the worst advice that you've received?
Oh gosh. The worst advice, what comes to mind is just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
I would say I say that because just because you have a thought doesn't mean that you have to follow it.
To follow it. Yeah.
So, just being intentional. I always think through, everything in my life has an intention. I think about, what is my intention for the day? Like at the end of the day, if I'm looking back, what do I want to say happened today? How do I want to feel? And then what are the things that I'm going to do during the day to make myself feel that way? And then I think about my month, my week, and my month. Like in the month of February, to move forward toward my goals, my personal life vision, what are the things that I need to do during this week or during this month so that I can realize those dreams? They're all dreams that I have for myself. And dreaming and just I call it a money movie. Like, what do you see? What do you feel? What are you wearing? What music is playing in this ideal life that you're trying to create for yourself? Because all of that visualization, it does it makes the external environment that you're living in match the internal environment.
Great. I think you mentioned good points there about visualization and goals. So what's the importance of that in your journey? Like, have a goal or visualize where you want to be. I mean, how does that help you in anything?
It's the most important thing, is to know where you want to go. And, like even when I have a business meeting or I go to have coffee with a friend, I sit and I think, like, how do I want this to happen? Like, and, if you plan nothing, you go nowhere. And we've got places to go in this world, like there's so many beautiful things that we can create. And I'm so optimistic about our future as humanity, as a worldwide human race. And I think that it's all possible if we all just take the time to really create some intentions around not just our personal lives and our career and our wealth, but what kind of a world do we want to live in? And I think that together we can all create that reality.
Yeah. And with that in mind, what would you say, or what would be the best advice that you can give to someone?
Do your healing work. Do your personal work. Look at yourself. Take responsibility for how you show up in relationships, for, the habits that you're creating, because we can save the world one person at a time, and you're one person. So just focus on yourself, focus on being the best human being you can be for yourself and for others. And that's it. We'll get there.
You'll get through. Brilliant. And again, taking through your journey and what you know now, what do you think would be the best advice, or the advice that you would have given your younger self? Or what things would you have wanted to know, like, your younger self, and what impact that would have made on your journey?
Yeah. I would tell little Holly that I would say, you are perfect just as you are right now. You do not need to do anything, achieve anything to be more worthy or valid. Just be you, and just know that you're accepted. You're worthy because you were born.
Yeah, brilliant. And what about for the notion that a lot of people, like we talked about before, will get to take action on certain things that they like or visualize after experiencing some sort of a challenge. What would you advise those people who are just coasting because there hasn't been any challenge and they don't see any reason why they should move themselves or shift themselves in any way?
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't had any challenges yet, congratulations. That's amazing. I always say, if you're lucky enough to make it out of childhood, you're bruised in some way. Because we all do carry some childhood traumas, and we might not be aware of it. And I think that's kind of how it was for me. I grew up in a family with two parents who loved me and tucked me in every night and told me that they loved me, and it was very safe. And I didn't have any challenges that were major that I was aware of. We all, as children, we go through bullying and and other things. And that does impact us, whether you know it or not. The stories and the conclusions that you draw about yourself because of things that happened to you as a child, we do carry those with us into adulthood. And then in adulthood, we find that we're operating from an old script that we created for ourselves when we were 7 years old, 12 years old. And, you know, that's why I say doing our healing work is so powerful, because we can undo those old scripts that we created as a child when we didn't know any better. And there is so much power and freedom in understanding why we make decisions the way we do and why we behave the way that we do. And if you're trying to change your behavior to get a better result, the first thing that you can do is look at the stories that you're telling yourself and the conclusions that you're drawing, because we can always create new stories.
Yeah, brilliant. And what's the vision for you? Like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line?
Oh,
what is the grand plan, grand vision? Where do you see yourself, and what's the journey?
Well, I own this property in Colorado. I call it the farm. And I want to build a healing center there, a place where people can come and ride horses and eat organic food and play with the animals and do their healing work.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So I really see myself growing old, sitting in a rocking chair on the front porch of this house, looking at the mountains and just with a cup of tea in my hand, just being, just being.
Absolutely. And when you visualize things like that, isn't it? The universe has got a way of actually delivering that to you. So, but you have to be that specific in your vision and what you want. And you know, it's like giving the universe those instructions. I want this, I want this. And along the way, the how gets to sort itself out as you plan. So that's a great visualization. So before we finish, I wanted to play with you just a quick this or that game. See how well you know yourself.
Ooh, okay, fun.
So you have 1 second to pick. So 2 options, pick one that immediately comes to mind. So if I say, like, are you a cat or dog person?
Dog.
Dog. Yeah. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Tea. Oh, brilliant. So you're not a coffee person. Eh?
Oh, I like coffee too. I just, it's like my comfort. It makes me feel happy.
Yeah. Breakfast or dinner?
Dinner.
So not a morning person, yeah, for breakfast. Yeah.
I drink a vegan protein shake every morning. It's something I've been doing for years. And it's like a great morning routine because I get all my nutrients, I get them really fast, and then I get to my desk.
Yeah, brilliant. Are you a text or a call person?
Call,
yeah. You prefer calling, yeah?
Yeah, I like the combo.
Yeah. Comedy or drama?
Drama.
Yeah. You like those period dramas or just any drama?
Oh, I like the emotions and I like the questions and
good. Fiction or true story?
Fiction.
Fiction, yeah. You're not so much of a true story, like
but just fantasy is so cool. Like,
I guess it does work with the way of thinking and visualizing things and how we can go beyond ourselves and what's out there, I guess, in a way, isn't it? Because there's some fiction that can take you outside of your wildest imagination, isn't it? To actually think, wow, that is possible. And it is. And last but not least, freedom or hope? That's a big one.
Freedom?
I guess you can look at it because hope, what does hope do? Hope will carry you, isn't it? You've got something to look forward to. But then you want to be free as well, like in financial independence, freedom, and you can do the things that you would like to do, I guess. But big ones. So, and just before we finish, so for people and our listeners who are looking to engage with you or reach out to you or read your book, how can people find you, and what would you offer to people and our listeners in terms of the services that you provide? So this is your pitch.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Well, you can find me on Instagram
Yeah.
at Hollymorph, HOLLYMORPH.
Yeah.
Morph, and all my good stuff is on my Instagram, on my link tree. You can click to get started on your path to wealth. It's a freebie. It's right there on the link.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you can get the book there as well. And you can go to my website, financialimpact.com.
Okay, so let me give it a plug here. So financialimpact.com, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Financialimpact.com. So is that correct? Yeah?
That's it.
There you go. All right, brilliant. So Holly, it's been an absolute pleasure, speaking to you. You've got so many golden nuggets in there, and I'm sure we'll be following your journey, and quite a lot of our listeners will actually probably reach out to you, get the book, because the book is absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of stuff there people can actually improve their just financial intelligence and financial understanding of their relationship with money, and there's a lot of practical things there that actually everyone can do easily and simply, and it's simple steps like the 4 pillars, as you say. Manage your cash flow, just manage your money, pay some debts, and start building, saving some money, and building that residual income and assets. So it's a really practical book. So we'll be pitching that to our listeners to actually get their financial literacy and understanding about money from that as well. So it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Any last words or advice that you can offer to our listeners about anything?
Oh, Alex, thank you so much. This has been such a joy for me too. And I would say for your listeners, just remember every day you are either building wealth or you're not.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much money you make. What matters is how much you keep, what you do with it.
Brilliant. That's a very great place to end. So absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, Holly, for coming on. I'm sure we'll be following your journey, and we would love for you at some point in the future to come back as well and give us more golden nuggets. So it's been a pleasure. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Same. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thanks, Holly. Cheers. Bye.